Hello, we think we're over at Brixham direction, picking up a couple of downed airmen from the English Channel. Well, good afternoon. You're most welcome to join me here on my YouTube channel today. It's kind of moving on into late June now, and today we're going to go down to Hope Cove, because during the Second World War, that's where that's where most of the RAF personnel were billeted, that served at all the various local RAF stations, starting with RAF Bolt Head radar, RAF Hope Cove up here radar, and RAF Bolt Head, the active aerodrome, which was an advanced landing ground, which was up here, and the runways were just over here. And we've got a bit of a mystery. We've found some photographs of a Polish Squadron Leader Sagjinski, but that was detailed in Arthur Clamp's book, which we've determined the name is not correct. We think he was with 317 Squadron that were here in 1942. This is Squadron Leader Sagjinski, as named in Arthur Clamp's book, at the rear of the Grandview Hotel with his Austin 7. I think, around about 1942. The interesting thing was, he owned and drove an Austin 7, and he was photographed with his Austin 7 down at the garage block that was at the rear of the Grandview Hotel down in Hope Cove. So we'll pop down there today, have a look around the Grandview as it is today. I'll put up some photos of the Squadron Leader. This is Squadron Leader Sagjinski, as named in Arthur Clamp's book, at the rear of the Grandview Hotel with his Austin 7. And we're continuing with the help of Owen Masters, a local historian, to try and track down the identity, the correct identity of this Polish Airman who served here. One of the interesting things came about in a conversation with John Yeoman, the chairman of the parish council. His family were farming up here during the Second World War, and they took in certain airmen in exchange for their ration books, so they would take them and give them bed and breakfast. And there was one Polish, we think it was a Polish airman, who had an Austin 7, but he left it behind when he flew away. So John Yeoman kind of indicated that they thought they'd store it in a barn, and then thought no more of it, and maybe if nobody came back to claim it, they've acquired an Austin 7, which back in the 1940s would have been very useful. But lo and behold, sometime later, the airman returned to collect his Austin 7. And it's those details that we're trying to track down, because it's just part of the story, part of the people that served here, and it's just interesting to try and work out what happened to this Polish airman. The squadron leader of 317 Squadron actually crashed up here. This is a recovery of the Mark V Spitfire flown by 317 Squadron that crash landed over on Rickham Common at near East Portsmouth. They were trying to land in low cloud, low on fuel, and sadly his Spitfire flew straight into the cliffs over on the other side, and he was killed. Most of the pilots managed to crash land or force land over at Prawl. One of the pilots managed to make it back to Exeter, RAF Exeter. I think a couple force landed on the airfield, and I think two of them collided in the fog. So it was a very sorry day for that particular squadron, and it's part of that kind of story that we're trying to dig out some more of the details, because they were very, very brave people who came over here, flew and fought, and sadly died to battle against the onslaught of the German invasions. Well, I hope you enjoy it. It's quite an interesting story, and hopefully we'll glean some more detail as we go along. This is rather an interesting photograph of Hope Cove dating from the 1940s or just up into the 1950s. So come on down, I'll put this thing away and we'll beetle on down to Hope Cove and have a look around. Here's another look at Squadron Leader Sagjinski, that's named in Arthur Clamp's book, although we're struggling to find and identify this particular Polish Airman. We're here on a sunny day in Hope Cove at the former Grandview Hotel. A rather nice image of the Austin 7 and the squadron leader behind the Grandview Hotel, and somebody very kindly has colorised this slightly for me. Which was home to many, many RAF service personnel during the Second World War. Just here were the garages, and the photograph of a Polish pilot with his Austin 7, who we continue to try and identify. I think we've identified that the Austin 7. And here again is another look at Squadron Leader Sagjinski, that's named in Arthur Clamp's book, although we're struggling to find and identify this particular Polish Airman. He's no longer around, according to checks with the Austin 7 Club. Sadly, it's long departed. Gone to the Austin 7 scrap yard in the sky. Hope Cove is a changing place. The Grandview Hotel here that used to be has now become a collection of holiday apartments, as has much of Hope Cove in the whole of the South Devon. Traffic's increased. Times are a-changing. Another nice image of the Grandview Hotel, probably in its heyday, dated around 1955. Probably no longer the sleepy, quiet seaside village it once was. Now bustling with second homes, holiday homes. This is looking down on Hope Cove from an aircraft taken a couple of years ago, and it's quite a bustling tourist village now. And the Grandview Hotel here has changed also. No longer a hotel, as are many of the hotels which were converted into holiday apartments. The Grand View is one of them. A rather nice image of the Grand View Hotel, probably in its heyday, dated around 1955. Times are a-changing. Sunny Hope Cove. Changing times here in Hope Cove. The traffic has increased substantially. The Grand View Hotel is no more. The Grand View has become these holiday apartments. A rather nice image of the Grand View Hotel, probably in its heyday, dated around 1955. But during the Second World War it was home to many RAF personnel serving at RAF Bolt Head, RAF Hope Cove and RAF Bolt Head. An interesting image photograph taken from looking at the front of the Grand View Hotel and the RAF aircrew casually relaxing outside. Happy times in some ways then, when they were staying here, very relaxed. Mostly they were ground crew, radar operators, WAFs, the pilots generally. An interesting image photograph taken from looking at the front of the Grand View Hotel when the RAF aircrew casually relaxing outside. Were staying in the cottage hotel down the road. Well, again, I hope you've enjoyed this look around at Hope Cove and looking back at some of the history from the wartime, and hopefully we can carry on researching and tracking down a few of these airmen that stayed in Hope Cove. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please take the greatest care, and cheerio for now.